everybody. Did not trade Monday, and Friday was just a simulator day. So I'm really feeling the pressure, um, and it's making me just kind of lose sight of everything. You know what I mean? It's been very difficult. So my first trades of the day were actually CCCC. So now somebody commented the other day, and this is a perfect example of one of those learning lessons. Um, for some reason, my head is just not in this right now, and it's very frustrating. So this is why I'm doing this recap. Um, this chart kind of looks like shit to me, only because when I see a chart in pre-market that's just like straight up, um, it's normally trash the rest of the day. I mean, it normally fades and just doesn't really hold up well. On the 5 minute chart here, we got that very first candle, that 5 minute candle that was red. Um, was not thinking about that in the moment, and I was also not patient enough. I am currently fighting kind of the fear of losing. And in a way, I think I'm trying to overcompensate by fighting that fear with just taking stabs at trades to build confidence. And in a situation like this, um, it's kind of hurting. You know what I mean? ALLR. There we go. So BTAI. So something's finally BTAI is finally breaking 955. So I'll talk about that one here in a second. All right, so let me just mark this out because I really want this shit to stick with me, and not just be something that I see now and then I'm just not even thinking about it in hindsight. So right in here on the 5 minute chart, it's just pretty clear that first off, this is garbage. I mean, just the fact that in pre-market, I mean, maybe you guys see something different. Again, I'm still learning a lot, so there's that. But when I see something in pre-market that's just going freaking straight up, there's normally a lot of pullbacks, especially out the gate, and it just tends not to go anywhere. So on the 5 minute chart, I feel like I need to maybe write this down. That way, I can kind of stick to this a little more. Because initially CCCC I put has news. It's easy to borrow. It does have good price action. At $3.44, there was a big seller. Rectangle here. So 344. So right here at 344, I definitely saw a big seller come in. And I guess the only reason why it seemed kind of bullish to me at that time, um, was due to the fact that we were starting to gain ground and push at VWAP, with a few of these 9 EMAs kind of right here. And initially, before that, we had this bounce off of the 20 EMA on the 5 minute, and I bought at also the 9 EMA on the 5 minute. So we kind of had this combination of the EMAs on top of VWAP with the confirmation of the breakthrough of $3.44. I mean, there was like a massive seller there, and it ended up getting eaten up. So that was kind of my conviction. And let's see here at when it tested it a few times, and I did not hit the buy button until I saw the level 2 just really start to eat them up. It 300 to 200 to 100. I went ahead and hit the buy button. I bought in with 200 shares at 344, and on this second candle here, I was adding to a winner because I'm trying to also get better at that. Adding to a winner here, and I had my mind set to pretty much like 10 cents, like 344 and 348. That's the average price of 346. So I was kind of looking for that break over 350, because we still had room all the way up to 365. So 350 being a half dollar, whole dollar. Just tell me if I'm wrong here, because it had the strength to break through 344, and that was like a massive seller on the ask, and it ate through that. So maybe I'm not understanding it properly. Maybe that just means that it's weaker, because if so many people bought at 344, it's going to take even more sellers or more buyers to eat up at 350 and push through that break. It's also easy to short. It's easy to bar, at least here. So you kind of had that double pressure of people bidding up on at 350. So what did I learn here? You know what? That's freaking tough, man. I don't know. Maybe you guys can help me on this one. It is tough. So I set my stop loss, and it looks like I got out here at 337. So, we're looking at 9 cents on 400 shares. So that's what, 46? No. 36. Sorry. Yeah, so lost 36 bucks there. However, should I have made my stop loss a lot tighter? Yes. I think what I should have done is set my stop loss to break even, because if we're in this territory here at 346, so I need to write that down. So CCCC, pre-market first 5-minute candle closed red. So this is a down sign. This is a down sign. And I could have placed my stop at break even or at the low of this candle, which is 341. And that would have been risking 5 cents. to make potentially 10 cents, because my idea was to kind of catch the break, and I was most likely going to sell half at 350, like through the break at 350. So whatever that would have ended up being, 355, 360, depending on how hard it would have broke through. Okay, so that's what I learned here on CCCC. Let's see if I ended up trading this thing anymore. BTAI, new highs. That's great. So no, it doesn't look like I did. So next trade, IMPL. Now this one, as far as price action goes, now for a second to touch base on CCCC, it had news. It did have breaking news of FDA approvals. I looked up on the news on FinViz, realized that, hey, this is potentially good news. So I think maybe the fact that it had good news on top of some other things, it kind of gave me a little bit more conviction that this thing had room to move. IMPL had a patent. So IMPL, basically the company granted U.S. patent Tuesday, respiratory tract delivery for Parkinson's disease. So, dang, BTAI moving, dude, and I missed it. All right, so IMPL really just kind of hit the chart, hit my scanner, and I noticed that it became a gapper. So I saw the volume kind of coming in, and shit, maybe it's just me, dude, but am I trading too early? I mean, shit, my first trade was 940, 941, and I already took my first loss by 942. So took first loss by 942. Okay. That's stupid. All right. Next. IMPL. Patent news. All right. Where did I fucking go wrong on this thing? All right. First thing I see is a lot of freaking wicks, dude. This thing was wicky. Yeah, it did not look very good. I mean, it did have some price action. It's a low price stock. You know what? I mean, this thing just really had no freaking range anyways. I mean, what? It had a wick all the way up to $2. So I was like, yeah, it had a little bit of range. I mean, you tell me if you're watching this, why am I focusing on stupid shit like this? You know what I mean? So, this was the only good trade I had here. So, I mean, you guys can see it. I ain't gotta tell you. But got in here 1044, got out at 1046, and it was with 200 shares. So I bought with 200 at 166, sold at 160 for a 6 cents loss on 200 shares. That's what, 12 bucks. I'm at least happy that I was trying to build some confidence and keep the stops tight. Commission kind of kicked my ass, to be honest. That shit added up like a motherfucker. Here I got back in on the curl back up at 949. That was another 200 shares at 164. I saw the crossover, which I really like to look for, which was going to be right in here. I pretty much was had a conviction of the crossover of all the EMAs. Everything on the 5 was pretty much piled up, looked at support at the 5 and the 20 EMA. And then here, this is where I added. This was kind of my confirmation. This was a starter. This was a confirmation that the 9 EMA crossover VWAP was about to happen. And I wanted to make sure I sized in. So I guess the only problem is my average share size 49. I bought in 200 at 164. Then I bought another 200 at 168. And then my first sell here was at, it said canceled, hold on, closed. So I sold the first 200, which should have been right here, 955. So I sold my first 200 at 168. So I mean, that's really, what? No, should be like 173. I'm so confused. Because I'm looking at it, 955. Maybe it was the 170. No, but that says canceled. Executed. It says I sold this thing at 168 at 955. Alright. I'm really confused. Anywho. Sold half up here. Sold the other half down here. And that was what I was trying to do, was stop out at my break even. So those are my trades on IMPL. So I don't think, I guess this wasn't too terrible. And then the last one, BTAI, you'll probably see this thing for yourself. And I can kind of already figure out what I did wrong. So we'll look at it on the 5 minute. So this thing also hit the scanner. I believe Monday it ran a little bit. And last time I checked on the daily, we had this gap from 16.8 down to 9.46. So there was a potential gap fill. And you know what? I was trying to anticipate it, and maybe that's what kind of screwed me. On the 5 minute chart, let's see. So this was at 10 o'clock, and this one's also at 10 o'clock. So at 10 o'clock, I took my first position with 200 shares at 918. This was a trend move, support on the 9 EMA, and for the most part that was due to the confirm that the 9 EMA held as support. So it looked like it was holding out on support, so I went ahead and took a position closer to $9 the best I could. It was 918 and just a shorter position, but it came all the way down, and I tried to even have the 20 EMA act as an area of support, so I was trying to get in right below it, or trying to basically give it room to pull back normally. And I guess what I'm seeing here is that this did not show support and it looks more like the previous area of resistance is all these taps here that acted more of a support, and then VWAP acted as a support. So that's a good learning lesson. Okay. So again, took another loss. This one was a little bit bigger. I got in at 918 and sold out at 894. So it was a little over 20 cents on 200 shares. Started to look again for the curl up at 1003. Got in at 902 with 100 shares this time. And again, wanted to give it more room to move. And ended up getting out down here, and I accidentally hit the sell twice because I thought my limit order didn't take. And yeah, ended up going short, and then immediately covered when I realized I was going short. And that, my friends, was my max account. My max loss on the day was triggered, and I got locked out of my main account. So, what I can see though, however, what really kind of jumped out to me was just me not kind of taking a step back and looking at the 5-minute as much. I mean, so this was for CCCC, BTAI. I need a better damn pen, dude. BTAI. Yeah, the price action definitely looked good. I'm gonna print this chart out. I'm gonna study it some more, but I just gotta keep fighting, you guys, you know. So let me know what you think, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace out.